Okay, happy 5D day, everybody. How are you? Welcome. And listen, we got a great show here for you today. We are going to get to our guests here in just a second. I want to thank you all, as always, for hanging out with us. Today's a really special day. If you don't know who we are, this is April. My name is Jay. We're going to be your host today. Hey, you know what? About a year ago, we met some very special people who you're looking at right now. And I got to tell you something. We meet a lot of people along the way, and it's pretty amazing, what these two particularly have done, not only in our lives, but for so many other people, because they literally have. Wow. I tell you, a year ago, we did this show called The Elixir of the Gods, and it went somewhere. And so here we are a year later, right? So a little over a year later, but there's a purpose behind what you're about to watch here today, and the conviction of these two that are really dedicated to making people's lives better. So I want to thank you both, because life is better knowing you. Thank you very much.
That is for sure. That is very, very true on so many levels. It's redonkulous. When Jay had just mentioned the show that we did originally, the first show was called The Elixir of the Gods, and that resonated. That one show resonated with countless, and I mean literally countless people, and it still is. The vibration of that show and the frequency of that show is still being felt today, and the results of it have just been, to our amazement, nothing but shocking, to say the least. From a personal level, yes, but also from a professional level as well. We absolutely never anticipated the results of what came out of that show, and that are continuing today like wildfire.
So you're about to meet Dr. David Silverman and Danielle Matthews, which we're also going to share with you how you can actually have the opportunity to meet them in person, and if you do get that opportunity to meet them in person, they're life-changing people. So, and I mean that with everything I got on that. So do take that. So let's see what's going on here. I want to again, thank our panel here for hanging out with us. We are talking about this blue bottle. This light blue bottle now, and this white tube. Okay, so it's now the blue, the white, and the light blue. So this is the thing that's changed.
Yeah. For anyone that's just like, well, who are these two people? We probably should introduce them.
We're gonna. I'm setting it up. I'm getting my rhythm moving. You know what I
mean? Real quick, in the upper corner, that is Dr. David Silverman. He sits on the board, the medical board for ASEA. He's been with them, if I'm correct, will correct me, 13 years. He literally was there at the launch of the company, and he's been there ever since. And he'll tell his personal story shortly thereafter. And then the gorgeous lady below us, that is Miss Danielle Matthews. She is a biologist. And for those of you that have not heard her personal story, just go back to our other shows, but really quickly, and she'll be able to touch on it later. But Danielle was hit at a young age by a drunk driver, and it virtually destroyed her life. She is a brain trauma survivor, and she credits her healing to ASEA. And to be able to see her how she is today is truly nothing but extraordinary. Her story is remarkable, and you can find it on multiple channels as well.
All right, so let's get in a rhythm. Let's get to know our panel, everybody, for those watching for the first time. Okay, so Dr. David, how are you? Welcome back, and again, thanks for everything. As you know, we do love you guys a lot. But I want to ask you, because you had a surgery center, a foot surgeon, so you had that ability as far as professionally, where you're good to go, right? But you made a decision to go with a company called ASEA and said, this is going to be the trajectory of my life. Can you talk to us about why you, as a physician, seriously looked at it with a lot of options available to you, why you made that decision?
Sure. And thank you both for having me back on. I love being with you guys. It's hard to believe it's been a year, and the number of lives that you've touched directly with the people you love and care about, that are close to you and physically close to you, people you've told, and that ripple effect that has spread around the world is humbling. I mean, I'm one of the most successful people in the company, but what you've done in a year dwarfed what I did in a year. And I wasn't there at the very beginning. Just to clarify, I mean, the company launched in 2009. I was made aware of it in December of 2010. and and because my dad was ill, that's why I looked at it initially, as you know, but real quickly, I saw things happen that blew me away. I kept referring people to my friend Debbie. I didn't want to get involved in the business side of it. I had been burned in businesses like this or quote like this. No, but I referred people to Debbie, and over weeks, my friend who brought it to me, over weeks and months, they all kept coming back saying thank you, from blood sugar problems and skin problems and breathing problems and libido problems and hair loss, all these things. People kept, I mean, serious things too, really serious things. And I finally went out to meet the people who started the company. It's a biotech company that decided to market it through word of mouth when they were originally going to sell it to a pharmaceutical company. Pharmaceutical companies love to get their hands on things like this so they can make them go away. If they can buy patents and they can buy technology, they don't want people well. I mean, pharmaceutical companies do a lot of good. Thank God we have them. Thank God. But they need sick people to make money. So anyway, that's when I met the people running the company, just like you guys did. Danielle and I suggested you come out and you meet them. If you're going to put your reputation on the line, you know, you want to know who's running the show, who's making the decisions. When I owned my own practice and surgery center, I made the decisions. I mean, everybody worked for me. So I knew where the ethics were. If I was ethical, I had an ethical practice. If I was unethical, it would be an unethical practice. So I knew I was ethical. But what would make a doctor look at this? Owning my own practice and surgery center in Maryland, and I was board certified. In fact, I just hurt my elbow the other day, an injury. So I went to get an x-ray, and I was talking to the orthopedic surgeon, and he says, well, what are you doing? I mean, I'm 62 and I don't have a practice anymore. The guy's like 60. And he said, well, what, you don't practice anymore? No. Well, how did you get out? And it was kind of like a lot of doctors do want to get out or have some freedom, because it's become a job, not a profession, medicine. Just with managed care and the pressures. So bottom line is this. The reason I decided to engage in this opportunity with this product, because number one, it works. It's a dramatic breakthrough for humanity. It's not just another product on a store shelf like, oh, good, turmeric is good for this and this is good for that. This is a breakthrough, which we can talk about. If we're going to talk about product, I'm happy to. I don't know what we're talking about. But the reason I got involved was the product is exquisite. It's a magical product, and so is the gel. And it can open a person's mind to this in minutes, which I love. And
can I tag on that real quick?
Yeah.
If anybody had, if you saw the thumbnail, so in addition to everything that David is talking about from the issues with inside the body, there's also huge benefits for the exterior of the body. Oh, and yeah. on the thumbnail, I put everybody's ages. David is 62. Jay just turned 52 last weekend. I'll be 56 in July, and Danielle is 34. And David's tagline, which we've all stolen from him, is the ability that this product allows us to live younger, longer. And we're going to talk about the quantum technology, the cellular communication that none of us ever knew about, but yet it's the most important element that keeps us literally alive. And when you unravel this magic that has been given to us literally, then all the pieces start to connect together. And for those of you that have seen Jay and I before, if you go back to our older videos, you can visually see the physical transformation. We can talk all day long about the interior transformation, and you wouldn't know, you know, are we speaking truth or are we just like blowing smoke? You can literally see the physical transformation that's taken place. Yeah. And the best we could do is share the internal, what is also going on as well. And Danielle, you've been such a blessing for so many people. And if you kind of just want to give a quick little, before we get into like, start putting your questions, and we're going to go through all the questions and answer all of them one by one. And just quickly share why you started using it.
Yeah, well, as you said, you know, my life kind of went upside down when I was in my 20s. And you don't expect to lose your health when you're in your 20s. And I don't know, those of you listening, maybe you've had a health scare or something's come into your life or a loved one. Like we're here by a thread with our health, and things can happen very quickly. Some things are brewing that you don't know, and all of a sudden you have an issue you're going to the doctor for. For me, it was a trauma. It was a car accident. And my health was gone. Couldn't focus, couldn't handle light noise. I mean, severe pounding in my head. It was not good. And the Western world, as far as medicines and therapies and things for me, they didn't have any options. They kind of told me, like, sit and wait. This might clear in a month. Then they said 3, then they said 6. And at my 1-year appointment told me it was my new normal and that my body had done the healing it would do. And I just, I don't know how many other people have sat in a room and been told by a doctor, hey, what you have is chronic. Hey, there's nothing we can do. This is just part of getting older. This is what happens. The body breaks down. But as a 24-year-old, I just thought, there's no way. Like, I was unwilling to accept that as a reality. And, with my background in biology, like, I know the body is seeking homeostasis. Like, the body is seeking to always be in balance and to repair itself. And I thought, well, why is my brain any different? My brain should be able to get back there. And, neuroplasticity is a thing. And I thought, I'm not accepting this. We'll find an answer. And I didn't anticipate the blue bottle being the answer. In fact, I actually ignored it. An acupuncturist recommended it. She said it was doing great things with people in her practice. And, she's naming things like digestion, hormone balance, like stuff with people's lungs, their skin. And I'm like, what does that have to do with my brain, first of all? And second of all, it's made from salt and water. And I said, that sounds like the biggest scam that's ever been known to mankind, and I'm not using it. I just was very blunt. But my parents both used it. My parents both had results that were undeniable. I physically watched them happen. My mom couldn't make a fist, and all of a sudden, full range of motion back in her hands. My dad has worn a knee brace for 30 years since I've been alive on his knee because of an injury during college football that ended his career. In 10 days, he didn't need the knee brace anymore. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I started to think about possibility, like, well, maybe, cautiously optimistic, like, all right, maybe there's something here. And sure enough, I started using it, and 3 months in, started to have things go away that, had been with me for a couple of years. The pressure in my head, my ability to concentrate coming back. And honestly, April, when my life started to get back, I hadn't allowed myself to think about the future, because when you lose your health, like, all you're focused on is getting healthy. Mm-hmm. And think about, well, what am I going to do for a career? How am I going to make income again? Like, everything is your health. Nothing else matters. Mm-hmm. And once that started to get improvements, like stuff that I was told I never would have, and I'm starting to have that again, I started to have hope. And I started to think, well, what do I want to do? Because I now know tomorrow's not guaranteed. It's just not. And so I figured I want to do something that I love, that has purpose, and that can help other people. And I also wanted something that would be financially, like, create flexibility for me. I did not want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. I did not want to go back to me having to work in order to make money, which sounds crazy because that's all I had ever known. Mm-hmm. And ASEA was like this shining light. I mean, it was like this such an obvious thing right in front of me of, look, you can help other people have the same beautiful results with their health, and you can make an impact globally, and you can be flexible with your time. And, if something happens to you, like, I bet you two would still drink ASEA if something happened to me, right? Like, it's just like, that's the way the business model works. And all I saw was possibility and potential, and the probability of something like this working. I mean, if I had let myself go down that rabbit hole, like, the probability is low. Most people have success in a business like this, but most people, I don't think, treat it professionally. They don't have a big vision. And I did. And I started sharing, and I don't know, through the years, we got connected. And a year ago, you guys showed me a whole nother level of what can happen and impact we can have.
We did.
We're like, well, you did.
Well, you did.
You touched on something so important, Danielle, and I really want to, because we don't really talk about this element very often, that the cells are, all of the cells in our body are consciousness.
Yeah.
And they're all, what you started to say, the body is looking for homeostasis. The cells, which we just never really think about, because, you don't ever stop to think about, how the cell is really working, right? They're just working. They are working in conjunction to create balance within the body. And the whole thing behind this product, ASEA, is why is it different? Why is this blue bottle sweeping through the country? Why is this blue bottle literally sweeping through the world? Why are so many YouTubers talking about this blue bottle? Because this is the missing element that none of us knew about prior to not that long ago, which is cellular communication. You can be taking the best products. You could be taking medications. You could be meditating. You could be doing everything that you're trying to do to create terrific the manifestations in your life that you want, but maybe you're hitting roadblocks and you just can't understand why. Or maybe you're taking a plethora of supplements just trying to get that one to work, and you're like, I don't understand why is nothing working? Because we're missing that link, which is the cellular communication. When the cellular communication starts to diminish, think of it like this. Jay, where's your phone? We just recently got, the latest and the greatest of cell phones, right? Well, if we can purchase the latest and the greatest, but if the cell phone tower is not working, this latest and the greatest turns into a hunk of junk, right? Your cells are the same way, similarly, from that point of view. If the cells do not have a strong communication, they don't know how to help. They don't know where to go. And this opens up and connects the cellular communication to make everything work and make everything work better.
Dr. David, I want to ask you, because people are asking what's in it, but before I do that, real quick, everybody, somebody invited you here. So somebody said, hey, check this show out and see what this is all about. So when you go to order, which it always seems to happen, everybody rushes to go to order. We have a phone number there. Text that number first so we can walk you through properly, and make sure you reach back out to the person who sent you over there. So, they can experience the ripple effect, which we'll go into a little further on that one. All right. So Dr. David, what's in it? People talk about, well, what's in it?
So first I want to finish what I was saying, because you asked me why I got involved, and I think it's important. I didn't finish, but I got into medicine because I love helping people. I chose podiatry and foot surgery because I'd have a little more freedom in my life. I really didn't want to be on call. When a doctor's on call and they take call at hospitals, it's a way for them to build their business. They get a lot of clients. I was willing to forego that amount of increasing my income because I wanted time freedom. I wanted to have a life, and not be running out the door at 3 a.m. or saying goodbye to my family at dinner. I wanted my hours. I own my own practice. I love helping people. The human body fascinates me. What you're talking about right now, April, the human cell, the whole thing is fascinating to me.
It is.
So business to me was kind of like boring. And I mean, I would never be nothing wrong with business, nothing wrong with being an accountant, nothing wrong with being a wallpaper hanger or whatever. But it wasn't me. It was like, I knew it was something in health with it. So, but as a doctor owning my own practice, I was limited in what I could do, the number of people I could help, and also time freedom. It really became like, I loved what I did. I mean, I got invited to baptisms, to bar mitzvahs, to weddings, I went to families' funerals. I mean, I don't want to say that I was loved, but I was, because I loved my patients. But after a while, after about 10 years or so, it was becoming a routine, and I was stuck trading time for money. And then you're having children, and you have more expenses, and you got to make more money, and you got to be prepared for the future in college and all these things. And it was kind of like on a treadmill. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. They don't think of doctors being on a treadmill, but I was. When this came along and I saw what this did for my dad, and I saw what it did for other people, and I met the people running the company, I said, I want this. I want to be part of this. It's very rare that a human being, a man or woman or whatever, is at the right time, at right place at the right time, with something that's a gift for humanity that no one knows exists, that does something, like you said, April, it lets you live younger, longer. And in the history of mankind, most people that have lived are dead now, but they came to a point in their life where they said, I wish I could be young again. I wish I didn't have these issues. That's what this is. And I said, I want to be a part of this. And selfishly, it created more income than I ever made as a doctor, but it created income while I slept. So making passive income gives you money, gives you choices. You can have the more money you have, the more choices you have. But if you don't have time freedom, then your choices go down. Like I was making good money as a doctor, but I couldn't just say, hey, honey, let's go to Europe for a month, right? Well, now I can do that. On the other side of it too is I'm 62 years old and I feel like I'm 26. I mean, there are not a whole lot of 62-year-olds that take no medications, that play golf every day, don't even take it. I used to take ibuprofen for my back when I played golf once a week. I play every day now, sometimes twice a day. And when I go up the steps of my house, I mean, I bound up the steps. I don't walk up the steps. My dad, when he was 62, wasn't doing what I do. So I'm grateful for the product. I'm grateful for the opportunity. But to answer your question about the product, in a nutshell, we're made up of cells, every part of our body. Liver cell, your liver's made up of cells, kidney, retina, everything's made up of cells. And if our cells are healthy, we're healthy. If our cells in our liver are not healthy, yet healthy cells are not healthy, then you're going to have liver disease. And you go to the doctor, they give you medication for your liver disease. Your brain gets injured. You got a problem with your brain cells. They're like, well, we don't really have any medicine for that. We got to do therapy, and this is as good as it gets. That's what Danielle had. You're thirsty all the time, urinating all the time, don't feel well. You go to the doctor and they say, oh, your blood sugar is 800. You need metformin, Dr. Silverman. You need insulin. The problem is my pancreas cells are not functioning properly, right? But if my pancreas cells were healthy, I wouldn't be thirsty. I wouldn't have diabetes, right? Western medicine approaches things differently. It approaches by giving a medication to fill the void that my pancreas isn't doing. Well, the medication is toxic and it has side effects, right? But it's like, okay, well, there's no other option. So that's what we're going to do. That's part one. Part two is as we age, we decline, right? We think of our grandparents, we think of our parents, we see photographs of ourselves. We're like, wow, look at the difference. And then you start getting aches in your joints and you got breathing problems and hormone problems and your skin changes. Skin is made up of cells. You start looking older. So we're made up of cells, and our cells don't rejuvenate themselves as well as they did when we were younger. That's the premise of this whole thing. So what's in this bottle is in us. We make it. It's called Redox signaling molecules. We're all making it. If I wasn't, I drink this, I raise my levels up to what they were when I was younger. But everybody that's watching this is already making this. Their cells are making this, and it's in a gel form too. But remember the decline in our health as we get older? We start producing less of this at puberty. It's produced in our mitochondria. I don't go through the science deep science on these presentations. I do some Zooms that I do, but there's some books called Redox Matters by Dr. Lee Osler. Here's a real simple one by someone who Danielle helped with this product, Ricardo Wilkins, Life's Biohack. I like that term because that's what it is. So when I was a kid, I produced this much. Fall off my bicycle at 10, get up, healed, good. Right? At puberty, I start producing less. Fall off my bicycle, let's say 25. I'll heal, but I'm not going to heal as quickly as I did at 10. Fall off my bicycle at 50, I'm going to have some real problems, right? I could have some real problems being physical therapy for a long time. Fall off my bicycle now at 62, even more. 85 years old, I fall off my bicycle and bang my head on the street, I'm probably going to die, right? And we're producing less of this as we go, these redox molecules. When I drink this, I raise my levels back up to what they were. All three of you do the same thing. You've raised your levels up to when you were younger, so your bodies function the way it was when it did when it was younger. And you look younger because skin is made up of cells, so it makes you look younger, which is the superficial part, but it's a nice part. I'd much rather have my heart younger and my lung younger, my bones stronger than worry about my skin. But the anti-aging part of it's kind of a nice thing. So that's what we're doing. And what it does is,
no, I was joking. I said, nah, that's not a biggie at all.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, it's funny. I tell people what this is, and they're like, yeah, and then they're like not interested. They could have a father who just had a stroke or someone who's got a horrible disease, and they're like, nah, no thanks. I read online it's salt water. I show them pictures on my phone of me before and after, or other people. They're like, oh wow, it does that. I want it. I want to look younger, right? But that's okay. Because that gets them in the door. That gets them in the doorway into the room where they're going to discover the more important things. And the company has several products that are really important for the body. It's all focused on turning the body from having bad cells into good cells, right? So what it does is, again, I'm not going to go through details here, but 3 major things. 1, it raises your levels of your antioxidants, your body's own antioxidants. Glutathione is a big one. Again, I don't want to get too scientific. 2, our genes turn off as we age is called epigenetics. So what that means, it's really genetic, they're not turning off, but our genes tell our cells what proteins to produce. So our genes in it's the DNA, right? Genes in our retina is telling our retina what proteins to produce to have healthy retina cells. Kidney is different, liver is different, prostate is different, breast is different, everything's different. But the blueprint is the genes, and the genes, it's called genetic expression. Okay. Well, that decreases as we age. So it starts at puberty. And a double-blind placebo-controlled study shows that this turns the genes back on. It increases genetic expression. It controls so many things. Because when people say, how can one thing have an effect on the liver, the kidney, the lung? How could one thing? Because it doesn't work like a drug. It's not targeted. Younger people have healthier kidneys. Younger people have healthier lungs. Younger people have they don't have glaucoma. They don't have arthritis. Some children have issues, but a lot of times Down syndrome's a chromosomal thing, right? They could have attention deficit. It could be from diet. It could be from a bunch of things. It could be they don't have healthy mitochondria and they're not producing enough of this. Okay. So that's the second thing it does. The third thing it does is not only does it amplify signal from the gene to the cell, it amplifies signal from cells to cells. So, for instance, the immune system, all right? When you have a cell that gets damaged because you fell off your bicycle, it needs to be replaced with a good one, right? And what happens is the good cell calls for help. The immune system cells come down, kill it, get rid of it, okay? Well, also, if you have a cell that's mutating, it's going to become cancer. We don't all get cancer, but we all have cells that are mutating. Why don't we all get cancer? Because the good cells calling for help, the immune system comes down, kills it, right? Our cells get old and wear out, right? Help. Immune system comes down and kills it. Well, what if the immune system doesn't get the call for help? And instead of it being help, it's help. Then you got a bad cell that's mutated. It's going to become something terrible. What redox molecules do, and you have more of them when you're younger, is it amplifies the signal. So it just makes things louder. So it's an amazing thing. An advancement. Why I want to be part of it is because it's not a medicine. It's like the next stage, the next level. It can't hurt you. You can't be allergic to it. It doesn't interfere with medicines. And there's no toxicity. You can drink as much as you want. I drink the magic 8 ounces a day. I went to Asia for a month in February, 17 flights in 27 days. I didn't want to get sick at 62, flying around on planes. I was drinking a bottle a day. So people can drink as much as they want with this. You can spray it in your eye. You can breathe it in your lungs. You do whatever you want. The thing is, we just can't make medical claims because it's not considered a medicine. And if the pharmaceutical company had gotten their hands on it, then my dad probably wouldn't be here today. Danielle would probably be in the same position she was in. None of us would look as young as we do. I'm not saying I look young, but most people don't think I'm 62. And it's just a gift. It's a gift product, and it's a miracle, a scientific miracle. And it's easy to prove, and it proved that it works in minutes, and it comes with a money back guarantee. So it's kind of like anybody that says, I'm not going to try it. It's like they're either cynical or they're sheep because they believe what they read on Google and someone says, oh, it's just salt water. Mm-hmm. It's safe as water, comes with a money back guarantee. If you don't sleep well, your back hurts, you got blood sugar problems, we can't say it's going to help, but what we can say is there's no risk. It can't hurt you, and there's a money back guarantee. So just see what it does. That's what most people do.
You know, it's like amazing on one perspective, and then you're like, on the other perspective, you're like, yeah, no wonder. That until we met Danielle and David, neither one of us ever heard the word redox. It was not in our vocabulary, and we've interviewed over probably close to 2,500 people at this point. It was never in any of their vocabulary. No one that we knew ever heard this word before. Yet it's the most critical element. It is literally our life force. So why is something so important and valuable to our life that is not known to most of humanity. And when you think about it, well, okay, I could see why now, because they don't want you to know about it. They would much rather keep you drugged, medicated, not well within the system. If you're like, I want to get out of the system, this is the step to get you out of the system.
On many levels, right?
On many levels. It will break you free from all of that on so many levels. And that is true freedom.
Danielle, you and I have been on a lot of shows together. And before I met you and Dr. David, it was like, look, I'm getting 50, right? So I'm like, all right, well, you think about this stuff, and you're like, all right, how do I balance this out? So I was taking about 10 supplements a day. I went to a seminar. I got the privilege to meet both of you in person, and within about a month, no claims, but within a month, organically, I just kind of went down to like 2. I was like, I feel pretty damn good. I was like, man, this is good. So we started talking about it, and I want to really kind of. We're out there, everybody. I know that you all probably are getting familiar with the faces, but we're out there so consistently with this because, geez, it is that challenge, Danielle. What do you think about that, where people still feel, oh, this is too good to be true? It's one of those things. I mean, I feel like, there's it's a lot of unwinding with people, like the thought process. If it doesn't, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of lost hope, or we've been so programmed to think like as you get older, like everything goes down and you're going to end up with a disease. And if your parents had this, you're probably going to have that. And that, your genes are your destiny. And it's what we've been taught. I mean, as a biologist, like that was also what I was taught in school. And now you start to hear people like Bruce Lipton talking about how, no, the genes are not your destiny, and how you actually you can create an environment that is healthy, that will allow the correct genes to stay expressed and for your body to stay in its best shape. I was just watching like the oldest dog in the world. Okay. Guinness Book of World Records, literally just saw this week. 31 years old.
Wow.
Flip your mind about what's possible,
Right.
The average age, I believe, of like death in the US is going down. Like we're dying sooner. Why? Because we're just programmed. Like you turn on the TV, what do you see? You see all these things about medicines. And it's like, we're not told about all these other ways that you can actually help your body. Like imagine, like our medical system is just backwards. Like in Japan, I believe it's Japan, like doctors are paid to keep you healthy. The moment
Japan.
The moment you get sick, you stop making money as a doctor. Where is your incentive?
Right.
You know what I mean? What conversations are you having? What are you learning about? Our doctors now get paid when you have a problem. Their training is how do I fix that problem, not how do I keep you healthy. And I think you have to, I learned, thank God, at a young age, because I lost my health, that the medical world doesn't have all the answers. They have some. For emergencies and things like that, they certainly have some. My grandfather was a doctor, but he was also the first to tell me, Danielle, they taught me how to cut. They taught me how to prescribe the right medicine for the right problem. That's what I learned, and I was very good at it. He said, but they didn't tell me nutrition. He said, I never took a course on nutrition. And he was focused on the lungs. So anything he read from the medical world was information coming out about stuff with lungs. This product, Jay, it sounds crazy. It sounds too good to be true because we're used to one thing playing one key on the piano, right? This does X. I take vitamin D. It makes my vitamin D levels go up. We're used to that.
Right. Exactly.
Redox is non-specific. Redox goes into the body. It's activating all of the genes. It's upregulating all of our antioxidants. It's telling every cell in the body it's able to communicate better. So now the whole immune system is getting, the notes are playing everywhere. And so it does something different for everyone, which honestly, it just makes it sound too good to be true. And it's confusing because we're not programmed to think about, oh, that's how it works. But you think about oxygen. You need oxygen. It comes in and it just makes the body work, right? And same with water. It's needed everywhere. Redox is the same thing. It is ubiquitous. It is literally needed everywhere. And it's going to help every cell in the body. But we're so programmed also to look at ingredients, what's on the bottle. This is beyond ingredients. It says, what the ingredients say is sodium chloride and water. What it should say is hydrogen, oxygen, sodium, fluoride, because it's those
Right.
4 building blocks that then are used to make different combinations. But we don't put the molecular structure of stuff on ingredients, right? And that's like, this is just it's in a category of its own. It's like a different level, but we have to unwind, as you said, and reprogram ourselves of, okay, this is what is possible. This is how the body is made. We're a sack of saline for a reason, right? Because the body needs those building blocks to make a lot of the molecules that allow for life to persist.
Real quick, everybody, I want to, where can we
Yep.
buy this? Again, text that number below and we'll get you information on where to buy it. Remember, just when you do text, just let us know who referred you to the show, so we can make sure that, they get the credit for that. Dr. David.
Yeah, I just want to make a point. When I met you guys at that it was a tennis club, Kiwi Tennis Club in Melbourne, Florida.
I remember that.
And we'll talk about this in a second. But I remember when I met you, you were the back of the room, and I walked up right when I was about to go up and speak, and I said, "Are you all here? Nice to meet you. Are you here to learn about the product? Are you here because you've seen the product work? You want to understand more and what else it does for people you love? Are you here for the business opportunity?" And you said, "We don't know anything about the product. We haven't experienced it." And you remember what I did. I said, "Well, do either of you have any?" I had to go. I mean, I had like 10 seconds. I said, "Do either of you have anything that hurts you? Do you have pain anywhere in your body?" And Jay, you looked at April and she said, "Yeah, my back." I said, "Here, I gave you a little sample of one of these tubes." And I said, "Here, put this on 3 times in 5 minutes and let's talk afterwards. Okay." And we can talk more, because I was on a rush to get up there. And I remember when I asked for people to stand up if they've had an experience with these products, and there were, I don't know, 40, 50 people there. I saw you stand up in the back. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Yes, it did its thing." And I just remember that. And then we talked, and you both said, "Look, we have a sphere of influence, but we have to be very careful to put our reputation on the line. We have to know that this does what you say. So we're going to test it for 90 days. That's what you said, 3 months. And if we see on us and a few other people, if we see what you're saying is true, then we're going to bring this to our sphere of influence, and we're going to help bring this to the world and make a huge difference." And I remember that. And the reason I'm saying that is this. You listen to Danielle, you listen to me, you listen to Jay, you listen to April. It's words. And a lot of times you get on podcasts, people talk about things that are the greatest and and whatever. And it's like, God, it sounds great. I'd love to live younger, longer. I'd love to help my mother. I'd love to help my child on the spectrum. But how do I really know? I mean, I've been down this path with different products, and none of them really deliver the way they say. So here's an analogy. I just thought of it. I think your audience is kind of out of the box, right? We all have our theories that I think most of us realize that what we see is probably not what's really happening. Some of it is, some of it isn't. The only thing I believe on the news that I truly believe is when they tell me the temperature. I'm like, okay, I believe that, right? But wouldn't it be nice, as an example, to absolutely know who killed JFK? Like have proof, and say it's cut and dry. It's like that's what happened. Wouldn't it be nice to know and have the proof that perhaps, if you believe the election was rigged, that the proof, here it is, finally, it's like everybody knows, right? Well, that's kind of hard to do, right? I mean, it's seeming to be hard to do. It's there. Maybe one day we will. What's nice is what happened to you in that room in Melbourne is instant proof. Anybody who says, "God, I wish I would know if this was real," when they call you and they say, you're going to walk them through how to order it. They got 30 days. They baseline everything in their health. What's their major problem? I can't sleep. Okay, well, start drinking this. Give it 90 days. Or I got a blood sugar problem. Drink it for 90 days. And Jay, you walk them through what to do. Exactly, right? I've got this skin thing. I keep putting these medicines on here that are terrible, or I'm taking pills that are causing my skin to break down, or liver problems, eye problems, whatever. You give it 90 days, right? And you get your proof, right? But the gel is the magic. And that's why I gave it to you, April, because I knew I had a 90% chance that within 10, 15 minutes, you were going to be like, "Jay, there's something going on here." And that's what happened. So when you have a 90% chance to have something happen in 10 minutes, you do it. And just for people that have seen this already, when they get their product, and Jay, you walk them through it, find 10 people that have something that hurts them, including you. as quickly as you can, 10 people, back, neck, knee, menstrual cramp, anything, and do this 10-minute test. It doesn't take 90 days. So it's finding it. It's again, you want to know who killed JFK. You want to prove that. Here's proving that what Danielle has said. This is it. You rate their pain on a scale of 1 to 10, right? 1 to 10. They shake up the gel. They put it on 3 times in 5 minutes, and in 10 minutes they say, "Well, how do you feel?" And watch what happens. Watch what happens to 9 out of 10 people, and then you kind of realize, okay, there's something very significant here. And I find that a lot of people, when they do that, when they do listen to me and do that on 5 or 10 people that are hurting, they are very hungry for more information. Like, that's great that my hand feels better, but my dad is really sick in Chicago. Could this possibly? And then they start digging deeper because they've seen validation that there's something significant here.
Thank you so much for sharing that. What David left out is a little something that I want to share with people. Jay and I went to that seminar. Jay went along very happily. I did not. I went kicking and screaming. I did not want to go. It was the last thing in the world I wanted to do was go sit in a seminar to talk about a supplement when we have an entire kitchen full of supplements. So I was not a happy camper about going. We went because we frequented a business and became friends with the person that was showing us this product. So Jay felt obligated, so made me go with them. And so I went with a very raw attitude, like, you people are whatever. Yeah, I was like, you're not going to show me anything new.
You were cordial.
What's that?
You were cordial.
I was cordial. I was definitely cordial, yes. And I had this experience, which I will be very honest, I was very surprised. But I left there very skeptical because I thought it was a fluke. It was just one of those things. Whatever. I got lucky. It was in my head. I was making it, it was, I made myself believe that it was working. And Jay's like, I want to sign up. And I'm like, no. We don't need to do this right now. Please, Jay, no. He's like, no. I want to sign up. We signed up. Next thing you know, we bought like a whole bunch of this ASEA, and now we have to start taking it. And I was still kicking and screaming, taking it, but Jay was forcing me to take it. And then here's what I'm noticing with people that are spiritual, we're very highly sensitive. And people in the spiritual realm that are taking this are noticing a change very rapidly because we're very in tune to our bodies. And within the first week, I was like, I didn't want to get too excited and say anything to Jay, but I was feeling pretty good. And I was noticing that when we were running, we weren't having any issues afterward. There was no lactic acid buildup. The bones, the legs weren't hurting, the knees weren't hurting, the back wasn't hurting. And I'm thinking to myself, there's something seriously going on with this. And then, as David had mentioned, for those that want that instant gratification to know, is it going to work or not, this is the magic formula right here. We started using this visually on our face, our hands, and our neck, and we were seeing right away, our skin was looking more luminous. It was looking brighter, it was looking tighter, it was looking more plump. This was okay, we can't deny that something great is going on here, but we were very under the radar, and we tested it for 3 months. And it was at that point, I was still not wanting to do it, to talk about it, but because we truly felt an obligation to our listeners that we're feeling something that's so extraordinary that we felt an obligation to share it. And putting the physical side apart for a second, and also what was going on internally, there was something metaphysical. Mm-hmm. There was something very otherworldly that was going on with Jay and I. And this happened very, very quickly, that we were connecting to our source energy like nothing that we'd ever experienced before. We had feeling the only way that I can explain it, that our pineal gland, which is really the gateway to our intuition, was being decalcified, was being cleaned out. We were being detoxified. So the messages were coming through like I'm talking to you right now. Neither of us we've always been very connected, but we've never, not at that level.
This was
like a whole other level of spiritual connection. From that point alone, if we weren't looking and feeling better, and we only were retrieving and receiving this enlightened sense of spirituality, this connection to source energy that we have never experienced before, we would still be on it for the rest of our life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I know we got a lot of ground to cover, and I want to talk about where people are going to have the opportunity to meet you. But I want to say this has been the most mind-blowing thing for me. Usually when you take things like this, you know, eventually, and I was fine with it. I was like, whatever, I'll give it 90 days, but, you know, I'll hit that wall, right? And it'll just kind of, I'll figure it out. It'll just do its thing. This gets better and better and better. Holy shit. It's like you're like these layers of skin or something. It's like you're shedding. You keep not shedding in that way, everybody. So relax. It's like you're shedding your skin. It's like a new version comes out. And I'm like, oh man, this is absolutely amazing. I feel like every, you know what, before I did this, I will tell you this, before I did this, and I hope people in our age group, or if you feel this, then I can just share with you my experience. I would always be like, oh, you know what? All right, I just want to try my best to just, you know, feel as good as I can. I don't think like that anymore. I don't even conceptualize my age. I don't think about it, not just because probably I shouldn't talk about it. I just don't think about it. I look at myself, I'm like, damn, I'm like, this is amazing. I feel good. I'm like, this stuff's good. I'm like, just let's make sure we don't run out. I mean, we stockpile this stuff because there's no way in hell I'm going to run out of this. And people ask me when they call, they're like, do I take it forever? I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want to? I mean, are you insane? Right? Like why would, I mean, if you guys you don't, whatever. But,
and you know what else too? It never gets old. Like every day, every single solitary day, Jay and I say to each other, this is the most miraculous product that has ever been created. Yeah, it is just extraordinary. And the more that you take it, you're so wowed. You're so wowed by the results of what this one product, the liquid I'm referring to right now, does to you. The gel is instant gratification, that you're just going to fall in love with.
And it's instant validation. And
it's instant validation.
It is. It really is. People that want to know for whatever reason, their own edification, or they're looking at the opportunity, they don't want to put their reputation on the line before they know the gel's so quick for people that hurt. And you take pictures, and it's for wrinkles. So you take pictures of your skin and you watch what happens. You know, Jay, you mentioned something that you don't look at. You don't feel like you have limits anymore. As we age, we feel like that's our limit. And here's an analogy. So I have this light here, okay, and I'm going to turn it on. Right now, it's on, and it's like, it's a nice light, right? I mean, it's putting some nice light out. And I'm like, wow, that's nice. And I think, well, that's a good bulb. That's how much light it's giving off. And if I want a better light, a stronger light, I go get a stronger light. But it has more potential than that. And we all have potential, right? So if we're living at a certain level and say, this is my limitations, but that's where I'm at. It's like, maybe you have potential, but if you give your body something that can make you reach the potential, you're like, wow, I got to here. Maybe I can get to here. So this light has more potential. So I'm going to push the button. It just got brighter because it got more electricity. And I push it again. It gets brighter. It gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And but if I didn't know, and I wasn't made aware that this light had a dimmer switch on it, then I would say, well, this is as good as it is. And I can't read really well with it. It's not bright enough, but it's okay. It's like, oh, wow, look at the potential. Mm-hmm. Look at the potential. And so it's the same thing with this. We produce less and less of this as we get older. So what we see happen to us inside and out goes down. It's like you have all this potential. You know, people say this is holy, like God touched these scientists' hands to make this, because this is something that's
I believe so. I totally agree. Believe that's
nothing else makes logical sense.
Nothing makes sense of how something
There's no other way that could be possible.
You know, when we started, I think with this, there was just this and this, and you know, then you talk about instant gratification. So now there's this.
Yeah, the clay mask.
Holy smokes, man.
There
I
ain't nothing
know.
like it.
This is just the
It's in a
shit.
league all its own.
This is okay. Look, this is a legit face. I think you did a video called "A Facelift from the Heavens"
right,
almost
but
a
not
year
on
ago.
that. I
This
did
is
it on
like,
that.
This is like facelifts from the universe, then maybe
It's
whatever. Holy
It's
crap!
incredible. And this, how about weight loss? I mean, so these are Redox products. They're packets. They're different Redox than this. And again, Redox is huge. I mean, in fact, that light bulb doesn't work without a Redox reaction. Everything is Redox, reductant, and oxidant. But this is Redox Energy. You just mix it in water. This is Redox Mind. And then there's Redox Mood. Now, if this doesn't take you to the level that you're at, where you want to be, it's like, okay, well, maybe there's some other thing that's that natural that my body needs. And there's other ways to do it. Now, weight loss is pretty cool. I mix these two together, the energy and the mind. You do that every day and just watch what happens to your appetite. Watch what happens when you sit down and eat and you're like, oh, I never left leftovers. Danielle's known me for a long time.
He eats everything.
She's never seen me leave leftovers on a plate. She's usually, David, do you want mine? You know, she's passing stuff over. I leave stuff on my plate now with this. I'm down into my 160s. I've never been in the 160s since I was probably 29 years old, 30 years old. It's just, like you say, there's a lot more to this than just this, right? And in fact, they're coming out with a new product on June 12th. Because I'm on the medical board, I kind of know what's coming. I've been using it. And it's another one of these. This is a white packet. It's going to come out in purple. And I think maybe you guys have heard a little bit about it already, but this ties into the whole anti-aging thing. People that want to look younger, if that's what's really important, this goes right in with that. And if you want to be younger on the inside and you want to live younger, longer, have the energy, then this is really, really critical.
Thank you for sharing that. Can I talk about this for a quick second? The
Looks
mask.
like you're about to.
Redox clay.
Danielle, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest mask. I was about to say skincare, but truly both of them together. But I do just want to quickly, because this is phenomenal. If you have never tried a mask like this, you may have tried every mask in the world. You have never tried a mask like this. You're going to see it. I don't even know. They say, I don't have my glasses on. I don't even know how long you're supposed to leave it on.
10 minutes.
I was going to say, because I've never left it on more than 10 minutes. You don't need more than 10 minutes. And it's not your grandmama's mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Okay.
It's not a Halloween mask either.
And it's not a Halloween mask.
mask.
It is so thin and so light. When you put it on, you're going to be like, oh, seriously, that's not going to work. That's not going to do diddly squat.
And all of a sudden, it's like,
Give it 10 minutes,
it's
rinse it off, and you're going to feel like you just rinsed off the past 5 years of your life. And I'm not exaggerating.
It is
It
so
is
it is, and if you're
amazing.
if you're in a profession where you are, your face, your image is important. I got to tell you, I mean, look, I'm saying as a guy, right? So I live in a condo. I'm always walking around, and I put this on, and nobody knows I have this on. And as I'm walking, I feel my face getting tighter and tighter. I'm like, this is pretty damn cool. I'm like, holy, but you can't really. I mean,
I
someone's
never
got to
thought
get
I'd
right
live
up
to
to
see
me.
that day.
But I would never thought it was. I never thought about it. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but this is important for you all to know this stuff, you know?
It is. You never know. I'm going to give you an example. The other day I woke up, I had a pimple on my nose on the side. Who wants a pimple on their face, right? So it's red. There's a little tiny white thing in the middle, tiny, but it's like, what? This sounds gross, but what do we all do? You get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to pop the thing and get it healed up. And I would put this stuff on it so it would just get normal faster. So I'm like, well, let me see what the clay does, because the clay has bentonite in it, volcanic ash, and it pulls out positive. It's negative charge, pulls out positive. And I put it on. So I put on like 3 or 4 coats on it, and I forgot about it. I left it on, and I'm like, I don't know, 3 hours later, I go in the mirror, and you hardly see this stuff. I'm like, what is that? Oh yeah, I put the stuff on. So I washed it off. The thing was gone. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. So when the company comes out with new products, it's a trust thing. When they came out with nutritionals, I'm like, all right, nutritionals, great. Well, one of them changed my life. This thing, they don't come out with stuff that isn't good. This stuff is a prebiotic, probiotic. It's called Biome. I've taken those things before. I mean, this helped me with so many things, but did not get my digestive stuff back to where it needed to be. And that stuff changed my life. So they keep coming out with new products. We're at the beginning of something. Company's 13 years old. They've only done like about 1.2 billion so far with the greatest breakthrough in the history of health. And why isn't it out there? There's a book called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Talks about how some things, great inventions or ideas, make it and some don't. This is growing person by person, right? You tell 10 people, they tell 10 people, they tell 10 people, they tell 10 people, they tell 10 people. That's 1 million people, 1.1 million people. Everybody told 10 people. And so we need help getting the word out about this. And then the bonus is you're telling people because you feel obligated, but the company's still going to send you a thank you check. Every time that person's orders product, they send you a thank you check. And, you know, I don't stand here in any of these things and say, let's make a lot of money. You know, it's not get rich quick, right? It's just not. It's not get rich quick. But it's solid and it grows and it grows and it grows. And what it does is you build this network that goes around the world. You've helped people you don't even know. And the company keeps paying you over and over and over for it. And you know, money doesn't make you happy, but it gives you choices. And a lot of people, they go to the store and they're like, oh, I'd like to buy organic because I don't want to buy the sprayed shit that they spray everything with. It's like, I want to buy organic, but I can't afford it. I got to buy the regular, right? The others, well, you know what? You make enough money. That's not, you're not buying a car or a boat. You're just doing, you're doing what you want to do because you have choices. And I love that. If people want to take it far beyond like you guys are, fantastic. And then we help them do what you did and I did and Danielle did. But we want people to know that this product exists, that it can help them live younger, longer, help the people they love be around longer, right? And if they want to make money, great. If they don't, it's fine. We just need advocates out there to be able to say, this stuff works. And we're going to hit a tipping point where we go from a couple $100 million a year to $1 billion a year to 10 billion a year. Because when you have a product that does just what I said with this, the things that hurt in 10 minutes, just that would make it a $10 billion product, let alone
for sure.
You know what? I want to speak pragmatically about this real quickly, because when you take this, and a lot of you are already experiencing this because I get the privilege to talk to you, it's something you are going to want to keep for the rest of your life. So this company did create this ripple effect, this way for you to have it offset your costs, have it paid for. If you do want to take it to a business level, you can, because look, at the end of the day, we're all in these kind of businesses anyway. We're like sending our friend to a show who sends their friend to a show, or sends them to a restaurant who sends their friend to a restaurant or to another restaurant. The restaurant just generally doesn't pay. This company is set up. This company's set up like that to do that because they realize, like, you know, Dr. Dave and Danielle are saying that, look, how else are you going to explain it? You're just not going to put on the shelf and say, oh, look at that. And what do I do with this, right? So it does take like the advocates on there. So that being said, Danielle, a really big event where people are going to have the opportunity to meet you and Dr. David and amongst other people and founders of the company. Can you talk about that for those that are looking at this as, hey, you know what? Maybe this is something I need to talk to my clients for. And I want to say, before you get into that, Dr. David, I know you may maybe appreciate this one. You know how like the pharmaceutical companies say, ask your doctor if this is right for you, kind of thing like that, the prescriptions. Ask your spiritual advisor if they're taking this, everybody. Ask your psychic if they're taking this.
Your healer.
Ask your healer if they're taking this.
Your massage therapist who's massaging their energy into your body.
Are you taking this? Ask them.
You want a clear, when you're working on yourself, whether it's energy healing or you're energy healing someone else, or you're getting a psychic reading or intuitive reading, no matter what end of that spectrum you're on, you want a clear channel. You want someone that is not going to have all the outside nonsense come in and influence whatever's going on. That channel needs to be razor sharp and on point.
On point. Danielle, this event where people are going to get an opportunity to really get the energy, the vibe, and see it at just boom. Can you both speak to that for a minute?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I saw Carolyn Rose writing about the mask, and I just talked to Carolyn this week. She's coming as well to this. So the company puts on something once a year that is, I mean, it's like nothing I've ever been to. So they pull in healers, entrepreneurs, people that are looking at life differently, right? Have this 5D consciousness awareness. They are wanting to create that type of world from all over the world. We're talking people from Asia, Australia, Europe. They come together, and ASEA puts a ton of effort into creating a space where they can cast a vision for people. to help people, number one, deeper understand the product. Like there is an entire medical board panel day where you can dive deep. If you are like one of those people that wants all the details, you can literally talk directly to the people that make the product, the doctors on the medical board, all of that. You're physically in their space. You can ask whatever you want. They then go into casting vision of the potential of what this can bring you as a person, helping you as a soul in your evolution to become more. And Tyler, the founder of the company, he's the first one to say, I don't care if coming to this conference makes you go build a giant ASEA business, or if it just makes you be a better father, makes you be a better husband, makes you be a better dad, like whatever it is, like he just says, I want to help you evolve. And it's kind of like you hear us talk here, but all of us, we're going to click off in a minute, and then you're going to be back in your world, and you're going to be back surrounded by the same people and having the same limiting beliefs and in the same grind. And you're going to forget this like spark of potential and hope that you're feeling right now. If you allow yourself to leave where you are, come into a space where it's high energy, high vibrational people that are looking to create change, that already have, like David, have already created this change in their life, you're going to be around them. You become the people you hang around. When you bring yourself into that higher vibration, it raises you. And now you put yourself in a chance to win, because now your mind is going to start to be able to think about possibilities. And what I absolutely love is that, look, this happens once a year, a very special event, and we all get to physically be together. Like there is a difference between us talking here on the screen and us physically being able to hug one another, to like have conversations, side conversations, not even about ASEA, like just, get to know one another on a deeper level. There's a community here that I think so many people are searching, looking for community. Maybe you feel connected in the chat groups, in our Facebook groups, on our WhatsApp, our Telegram channels. There's a degree of connection, but there's something about physically being in one another's space. And I want to send the invitation out to all of you to come. We're going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. It's my birthday weekend, so nice present to me.
You're going to get spanked.
But it's like these people become like family. Like it's like, I look at David, he's like my uncle. Like it's just like there's so many connections that happen. And Carolyn made the choice this week to come. Shelly, who just had a comment there too, I know she's got it marked like to come. She's got her hairdresser now wanting to come. Guys, it's going to be a beautiful space. Catherine Edwards is flying over from the UK. She sees the potential of this and wants to connect in with everyone. So I just want to say, guys, put yourself in the position to change your life. And if you go there, it will change your life. I will reimburse your ticket if it doesn't. Like I am that sure that it will.
Danielle, thank you so much for sharing that. Jay and I cannot stress enough. You hit on one thing. There is a community here. And the other reason, yes, the product is awesome. And yes, there are many people on YouTube that are just devoted to this product. But there's another element that a lot of you don't realize, that this is a community. We are not against one another. We are for one another. We are all working together harmoniously. This is literally, we are creating the collective consciousness. We are creating the 5D economy, which is creating abundance by helping others create abundance. This is exactly what Danielle is hitting on. This is way more than the four of us just sitting here. This is what we all have been waiting for. This is what we all have been dreaming about: the medbed technology, the healing technology, the communal relationships. It's already here. All you have to do is tap into it.
And people vibrating at that level, that same level you're at, so you can attract the goodness and blessings of whatever your faith tells you can do. But you just got to vibrate high to do that. Dr. Dave, about your perception of what people should experience when they go to the event.
The convention, yeah. I mean, to anybody who hasn't experienced the product yet, the product sounds too good to be true. To people that haven't been to a convention, the experience of the product is pretty easy to do. But most people go through life settling or struggling with so many different things. It could be self-image, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be time freedom, it could be fulfillment. And nobody really thinks, when they first hear about this, this stuff in a bottle that's made from salt and water, that this could be what they've been looking for. Like you just said, April, so we've all been praying for, hoping for. And the only way you really know is to be there. And I can't put it any better than Danielle put it. It's funny when people make a decision, once the decision is made, Providence moves. It's like, okay, am I going to go to this place? Am I going to go or I'm not going to go? If someone says they're not going and they have things in their life they'd like to improve, then things probably aren't going to change. And not that if they go, they're definitely going to change because they go, but they can see, wow, I want to be part of this, because I named my LLC when I started this Gift for Humanity, because I believe that this is a gift for humanity. But there are three gifts the company has. It's the product, it's the opportunity, it's the culture, and it's a community. And to be part of something with really good people, we all know that the world's going to find out about this, right? It's just a matter of when does it hit that tipping point. And the best thing I can say is come. Even if you don't get involved with the business side of this, you will get something out of it that you don't expect. Everybody does. In every convention, we have a team get together. We have a team meal. We get everybody together. Sometimes it's 100 people. Sometimes, with COVID, it dropped a little bit, but now we're back to normal. There are people coming from all over. Even the unvaccinated from outside the country can come now, finally, as of May 15th. I would say come. So talk to Jay about that. And we hope that you do come to Fort Worth, Texas. It's September 21st to the 23rd. And we'll all sing happy birthday.
These are genuinely not only the two that you're looking in front of us, obviously, but the people behind ASEA. These are the most genuinely authentic people you will ever meet. They are in it for the love of humanity. Like David had mentioned, I just want to quickly revisit that in case anyone is jumping on now and didn't hear this, because it's huge. ASEA had the opportunity to receive a very, very fat check from pharmaceutical companies. And they could have taken it and sat back and be living in the lap of luxury 10 times over. They did not do that. Why? Because the deal was, if you take this big fat pharmaceutical check, we are going to take this product off the market, remove it from the shelves, remove it from humanity. And they said, no way.
So if you go, that's what you'll experience. The level, the dedication, the sacrifice a family had to make for us. For real, a sacrifice a father and son made to say, look, we can have our legacy set for lifetimes to come.
Many lifetimes.
Or do we do this?
Do you know Tyler, the founder, and his dad, Redox, Tyler has said since that original offer, they have had many for much more.
I'm sure
over the years. And they continue to say no, because they know the power of this and they want this to be in the hands of people, not for some big corporation to make the money, but for some individual to be able to set their life free. And, if you don't think, oh, that's not for me, or I can't do it, and your mind's talking right now, you need to be in Texas, September 21st to 23rd, to realize you can do it. You see people that look just like you, and you're like, wait, they did it? I can do this too, right?
Hey, you know what? Can I give one example? Yes. I hope people will go to this website. Okay. And they're 3-minute videos on people and Danielle's one of the people. My sponsor, Debbie Wetzler, is one of the people there. And in 3 minutes, they share, this is not so much the product side. It's more what the business and the culture has done for them. And it's realredoxresults.biz, realredoxresults.biz. And the password is the word Redox, lowercase, REDOX. And take a look. And these are the people that you meet. And plus you meet everybody from corporate. I can't stress it enough, because you have to, for someone to make a decision about something and put their heart in something and their reputation, they have to believe in the people, and they have to believe, and they have the support. And the one thing that we have is that I don't push the business on anybody, but I know that a lot of people would like to have more choices in their life, and this could be the vehicle for them if they're willing to evaluate it properly. So
Before we close, because Jay and I can talk about this forever, all day long, no problem. I just want to check off a few boxes here. If you have any type of issues or discomfort, could this beautiful little bottle be the problem solver for you? 99.9% check. If you want to, as David always says, live younger, longer, will this blue bottle do it? Absolutely. Check, check. If you want to reverse your aging, check, check. If you want better cellular communication, check, check. If you want a higher connection to source energy, check, check. If you want a higher vibration, check. A higher consciousness, check. A higher frequency, check. This is checking off all of the boxes. I don't know what's left.
Well, one last thing is I want to tell you, look back at our videos a year from now, guys. Some ladies, I would imagine also, but look at my videos a year ago. Look at my video now. A year ago. Look at it.
It's pretty cool.
A year ago. Now, listen, I'm just saying, you make your own determination on that. All right, so we absolutely adore and love you too. It's such a privilege and honor to always get to meet you in this lifetime. Thank you both very much for this journey. We are privileged to take with you for sure. Take this journey with these guys, everybody. Let's take it together. It's just a cool ride, and life is better this way. We just don't. We feel good. We looking good, right? So
hey, look, we're gonna look good in St. Thomas in about 6 weeks. I'll see you guys.
Right,
there.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Ritz-Carlton, we're gonna have a blast.
yeah,
Can't wait.
Yeah. Don't accept it. If you're not at optimum performance, don't accept it. I share with you from one human spirit to another. There's hope out there, okay? And we feel like we found it, which is what keeps us coming out here. So God bless you all, or whatever you believe in. Bless you all. And again, the number will be there. Text the number. Let us know who referred you so we can get you the proper link so you can make sure you know. But then again, our guests here, Dr. David Silverman, Danielle Matthews. Much love to you both. And thank you.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Love
Bye.
you too. And together with David and Danielle's help, we and ASEA, we are turning the universal key to global harmony and creating a unified world. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, tune in often. Tell all your friends. And most importantly, may all your 5D dreams come true. Much love.
I'll see you later.
I'll see you later.